Hi, I'm Tony Antonelli of the STS-132 crew, and you're watching NASA TV.
Good morning, Atlantis, and a special good morning to you today, Tony.
Hey, good morning, Houston. It's a great morning up here, and thanks to my family, Janine, Michael, and Danny.
This is Mission Control Houston. You're seeing a live downlink from the orbiting complex now making its way over Mongolia. That last call from Capcom, Shannon Lucid up to the orbit crew regarding a configuration to the H2 tanks, the hydrogen tanks. Crew reporting back, and they will resume that conversation as soon as we resume communications link up with the orbiting complex.
Okay, I think we're ready for questions here.
Yes, we're ready for questions.
Hi, this is Robert Perlman with CollectSpace.com and Space.com. A question for Atlantis' commander, Ken Ham. Yesterday, while answering students' questions, you said it would be an honor if it turns out that you and your crewmates are flying Atlantis' final mission. With that in mind, how would you have STS-132 remembered in the history books? What, to you, has been the highlights of the past 10 days that you feel set apart STS-132 as a mission suiting an orbiter's final flight?
Good question, Robert. I don't want to or hope that we set ourselves aside as a different or better, if you will, crew mission than any other mission that was on Atlantis. One of our objectives from the very beginning, like we talked about pre-flight, was to get our job done professionally, get it done correctly, get it done on time, and then also have a lot of fun doing it, and hopefully show that fun to the rest of the team and everyone else involved, because there certainly are thousands of folks involved in the mission. And I have a feeling, I don't know, we won't know until we get back on the ground and really talk to the team, but I think we did share the fun and share the enthusiasm of the whole experience of flying in space. And that's the way I would like this flight to be remembered.
Thank you. And for Garrett Reisman, during your spacewalk on Friday, we watched as you and Mike floated into Atlantis' payload bay. And on your way to the aft deck windows, you climbed over the tool stowage assembly in which NASA has packed mementos meant for employees and agencies partners to mark the shuttle program's end. Can you share what you are bringing back or what you choose to bring back from this mission as your personal memento of your time on Atlantis, the STS-132 mission, and your last shuttle flight? Thanks.
Well, let's see. First of all, I want to emphasize that we didn't take anything out of those compartments on the payload bay. We left everything right there. But as far as what I'm bringing back, it's mostly memories is really what I bring back. Memories of not only the spacewalking and the views and the sunsets and the islands we saw, but just memories of all the fun we had. And that's really the main thing. That and photographs and video is that we'll be watching for the rest of our lives.
Hi, this is Gerhard Daum with the German Aerospace Center and Space Expo Association. Question for TJ Creamer. What was your most challenging task and your most exciting moment during your long-duration mission? And did you experience anything you didn't expect? And what are you looking for most when you are back on Earth?
Vielen Dank für diese Frage. It's what can I share most with you? I will tell you that there have been some absolutely astounding things, like the views that we've been able to experience out the windows. We've been able to do an awful lot of science and hard work together successfully. But I think that one of the things that I can honestly share back with you is just the bonding, the friendship, the camaraderie that exists. That when you work long missions together, and in that camaraderie is some absolutely gut-wrenching, tear-producing laughter that we've been able to share with some of the senses of humor we've had up here, and all that combined together is a very warm memory.
Thank you. Question for Piers Sellers. This is your third flight. As a veteran, was there anything new for you? And also, you had to perform lots of robotics tasks. Was it more difficult or easier compared to your training? Thank you.
Well, to answer the first question, yes, it was very different for me. The other two flights I came up, the inside of station pretty much looked the same. It was about 1/3 the size it is now. This place is now a palace. It's huge, and I've had a great fun exploring it. We're seeing station in pretty much its final form, and it's really magnificent. As for the robotics, it was wonderful. I was down there in the belly turret of the station, this glass dome underneath all day, getting a suntan, waving the arm around. It was a lot of fun, and me and Tracy had a wonderful time doing that.
This is Jill Tolk representing the Cohasset Mariner in Massachusetts. So, of course, this is for Steve Bowen. From your perspective on orbit right now, what thoughts and feelings about your final shuttle flight and EVAs would you like to share with residents of Cohasset and the rest of New England?
Missed the Cape Cod league.
Well, no, actually, I saw Cape Cod, which was kind of neat. I'll go back. Piers and I were up in the cupola enjoying the views the other day just for a few moments, and we happened to come right up over Cape Cod, and I got to look down and pointed out to Piers where my hometown was, where Cohasset was, and that was very exciting. So as a memory from this flight, I'm going to, the opportunity to share the world with my friends here on board the space station. And really, no matter where you are, you've got friends you can share it with, so that's a great deal.
Thanks, Steve-O. As a similar follow-up question for either you or Garrett. Garrett, before the mission, you had talked about all the hard work that you all were going to be doing on this mission so that you would have a great feeling of accomplishment afterwards. Not just a small feeling, but a great feeling when everything got accomplished. Could you all expand on that?
Yeah, we've talked a lot about having fun up here, but I think the main reason we're all having so much fun is that everything went pretty smoothly on the mission, and we accomplished all of our objectives, and there's nothing like a little success to make you have a really good time. So, yeah, I was hoping that after all this hard work, not just obviously by us, but more importantly by all the people on the ground, that made it all possible and worked out all the engineering details, we had a lot of success. And that's something that was that's what I was talking about before, that I was hoping to have this feeling, and I've got it.
This is Peter Aylward from Southern FM in Australia. My question is for each of the crew members of Atlantis and any of the others who would like to contribute. If it were exclusively up to you, which city or town would you select to be the final location for public display of Atlantis after her retirement, and why?
That's a great question. I'm glad Garrett's not answering it. That's not for us to decide unless I get to pick, and then it would be in my backyard. I get plenty of letters from my homeowners association about leaving my garbage can out and not keeping my grass trimmed, but that would, if I got Atlantis parked in my backyard, that'd make all those letters just kind of disappear.
Thank you. And this is a question for anyone, for the members of the ISS crew. We've all had the experience of packing for a long trip and only to get there and realise that you've forgotten something large or small that you would really have loved to have brought with you. Have any of you had the experience on this flight to the ISS?
I forgot to bring sweats, something to keep me warm, other than the work pants that I have every day. But I'd have to say that you're taken care of very well up here. We have so many people that are looking out for us on the ground to make sure that not only are we accomplishing our mission and being able to take care of this place, but that we're taking care of ourselves too, because this really is our home away from home. So I wouldn't say that we're missing too many things up here, except our families.
Mark Carreau for Aviation Week. I have a question for Piers and Garrett. Both of you have flown to the space station in the past in different capacities. I wonder if you can draw from that perspective and what you have seen about the Earth on this mission, and tell us if you have any impressions that seem remarkable or memorable from the differences. Thank you.
I'll give you the short answer before I hand over to Garrett for the long answer. No. No, the main impression I got was sitting in the cupola for hours is really how small the world is. You go around it in 1.5 hours, but you can recognize fields, roads, city blocks down there. So we live in quite a small planet. It really brought it home.
And I agree with Piers.
Atlantis ISS, this is Houston ACR. That concludes questions from the Johnson Space Center. Please stand by for a voice check from KSC-PAO.
Atlantis ISS, this is Kennedy PAO. How do you hear me?
And radio loud and clear, Casey.
Hello, this is Marcia Dunn of the Associated Press for Commander Kotov and any of the other station crew. You mentioned the other day how scary the oil spill looked in the Gulf of Mexico, and I'm wondering, could you describe it? What does it look like? Does it look like a brown stain against blue water, or use your own words?
Hey, Masha, good to talk to you. Yeah, the oil spill, we are watching from above every day, and it's kind of sad to see the beautiful sea is kind of tinted. And these days, the stain kind of spread around to the south, and I heard it's going to migrate to the Atlantic side, but we're just hoping the quick recovery watching from above.
Another question for you, Soichi. You're the king of space twittering. You're posting so many pictures and so many words. How is it for you having that kind of access to social media from the space station? And do you find it rather entertaining?
Well, thank you. First of all the kudos to the engineer who made it possible, and also like my personal thanks to my crewmate TJ Creamer, who worked very hard to make it happen. I'm just a user. He's actually the background engineer to make it possible. And my message to you guys is, look, the Earth is beautiful, and I just want to share the pictures. And I'm not the best photographer. There's other people who took a better picture, but I like to just share the how the regular person come up to the space station and see this beautiful view, and just want to share the view. So I'm really happy to have a chance to share the nice, beautiful photographs with you guys.
One more question for Commander Ham. You mentioned that how much fun you've been having. What was the most fun that you, as all 12 space flyers, have had in the last week?
Yeah, well, Marcia, I probably can't reveal some of the best fun that we had up here. But seriously, I think it was TJ that might have mentioned it earlier. It's spending time with this group of people, and it's all 12 of us. We've bonded up here in space, which is an interesting experience. And I think part of that comes from working really hard and then having pride in your own success. Sort of sets up the human emotion for being happy and being happy together. And there are some senses of humor on this crew that are excellent, to be kind, I guess. We've had a lot of fun laughing together.
Hi, guys. It's Bill Harwood, CBS News. One for TJ, just to follow up an earlier question. What are you looking forward to? What are you going to miss? And what are you looking forward to when you get back to the ground, please?
What am I going to miss is probably be easy. It's we've been up here 5-ish months, and right now you kind of go, I'm finally getting the hang of this, and it's kind of sad to be departing that operational world that I so enjoy and love, as well as just the camaraderie that we share with our crewmates. What I'm looking forward to, of course, is getting back together with family and friends. Specifically, though, I really like to drink something not through a straw and have the food stay on the plate for a change.
I can understand that. One quick one for Commander Kotov. Can you give us a snapshot of how is Rosvet doing? You mentioned some shavings the other day. I'm assuming that's filtered out by now. Maybe give us your impressions as commander of the new module. Thank you.
And thank you for this question. That's the new module Rosvet looks really good, and he's still packed with cargo that's Atlantis brought up with this module, and we work very hard to unload this module. But in any case, it's excellent extra volume, and especially this module is designed specifically to be a Russian science laboratory. So we're really looking forward to utilize this module in future. Thank you.
Atlantis ISS, this is Houston ACR. That concludes questions from KSC. Please stand by for a voice check and more questions from the Johnson Space Center.
And Atlantis ISS, once again, how do you hear me? And Atlantis ISS, once again, how do you hear JSC?
Really loud and clear.
Hi, Robert Perlman with collectspace.com and space.com once more, with a question for Mike Good. You entered space on the anniversary of the last Saturn V launch, which was also the liftoff of the first U.S. space station Skylab. That somewhat parallels your own and your crewmates' flights, which is planned as the last for Atlantis, but it is one of the last of the shuttle program. And now you're flying when the International Space Station's assembly is nearly complete and science operations are about to begin. So as your mission comes to a conclusion, can you share if this feels more like the beginning of an end or the end of a beginning?
Oh, great question. It's definitely the beginning of the end here for the shuttle program. And I think as our Commander Ken Ham put it so eloquently yesterday when we were talking with some of the kids, that unfortunately, this is necessary for us to move on. You know, the shuttle's an incredible vehicle. You know, it has a payload bay. It has an airlock, so we can go out and do spacewalks. It has a robotic arm. It has an unbelievable capability, but it is limited to low Earth orbit. And so as we continue to dream to explore further out into the solar system and to go further, we're going to need to go on to a new vehicle. And unfortunately, the space shuttle is not that vehicle. So we'll say goodbye to the space shuttle and look forward to a new vehicle and new exploration.
This is Jill Tolk with the Cohasset Mariner. A follow-up question for Steve-O. The last time you were on orbit, there wasn't the cupola, of course. Could you describe for me the view or your experience sticking your nose against the windows of cupola?
Did you get any nose prints on there?
Yeah, the cupola is an amazing facility, and really, I think Piers and Tracy and Garrett proved its value with the robotic operations, which is the real purpose for its existence. If it had been up here a little bit earlier, you'd probably get a lot more use out of it. But for those of us that aren't doing robotics, it's just the most amazing place to sit and watch the world go by. And, you know, it's an opportunity to look down and see what the world looks like and reflect upon it.
The coast of France, just to the north of Bordeaux, as the space station and space shuttle track easterly across the central portions of France.
Houston Station, you're ready for farewell ceremony.
And we're ready too. We're watching. Thanks.
And this is time when we have to say goodbye, our friends, our colleagues, the excellent crew of shuttle Atlantis that did an excellent job performing 3 EVAs, installing the new Russian module, and just having the fun, enjoying the living on station and working in space. And they show the good example of friendship, professionalism, and classic attitude in their behavior. So it's really needed goodbye, but it's time to departure. So again, thank you, Ken, thank you, all crew, thank you for excellent job, for your patience, for your work, for everything. We enjoy working with you.
Like we are one happy shuttle crew, and we are happy because of all of your effort too. I think through our entire dock time frame here, we were a 12-person crew that operated together, and that was the only way that we got everything done and got MRM installed and got the EVAs done. So we are happy, but this one is to friends we're going to leave behind and new friends that we've made, close friends, my friend. We've had a great time together. And TJ will be home soon. Suichi will be home soon. It's all good. Alrighty.
we're going to close the hatch shortly, and we're going to depart. And of course, as always, it'll be a little bit sad. But we'll see you all on the surface of planet Earth again soon.
Once again, this is a view from inside the orbiter docking system ring inside Atlantis' payload bay that is connected to the station at this point in time. You will see the image change every few seconds. This is because we're getting sequential still video, which is a low data rate video. It just changes every couple of seconds. But it does indeed give us a view of the undocking coming up in about 3 minutes. Atlantis now bidding farewell to the International Space Station. This shuttle has served as an important tool in the construction and the assembly sequence of the International Space Station. Atlantis delivered the U.S. Destiny Laboratory back in 2001, also the Quest airlock in that same year. It has delivered several of the truss segments of the station, the Columbus Laboratory, and of course the Rosvet module, the brand new piece that it delivered on this mission. 5 feet away from the station, you're getting a good view of pressurized mating adapter number 2 there. That is the center dark section there on the end of the Harmony node. To the left and the right. The shuttle's now 506 feet away from the International Space Station. This fly-around is continuing with STS-132 pilot Tony Antonelli at the controls. Antonelli is flying Atlantis up over the first quadrant of this entire circle that he will steer Atlantis. He's completed about the first 40 degrees. This is a view from inside Atlantis' orbiter docking system, looking back at the former home of the shuttle, pressurized mating adapter number 2. There on the left, you can see the Columbus Laboratory. There on the right, very obvious, is the Kibo Laboratory with its logistics module up on top. This is a view of Atlantis with its open payload bay doors. Down inside is the integrated cargo carrier, the only piece that Atlantis is bringing back home. The old batteries that the crew swapped out during 2 of the spacewalks of this mission are on the back side of it. The robotic arm there extended out over Atlantis' left side with the orbiter boom sensor system still attached to it, crossed back over the payload bay. The Pacific Ocean down underneath both Atlantis and the station at this point in time. The 2 vehicles are 212 miles. Continuing to pass to the northeast, they're approaching the western edge of Mexico here in about 2 minutes. There you can see the Progress 37 that is currently docked with the Piers docking compartment. At the very back toward the lower center part of your screen, you can see the Soyuz TMA-17. And then there on the right is the brand new Rosvet module, which is now attached to Zarya. That, of course, came up with Atlantis during this mission, and the crew installed it as they were docked with the International Space Station. And there you can see the entire International Space Station complex there. If you look at the top, Atlantis currently casting a shadow on the solar arrays. The team here confirming that the Flyaround has begun. STS-132 pilot Tony Antonelli now at the controls from Atlantis' flight deck. He will begin to fly Atlantis around the entire circle of the International Space Station. The two vehicles are currently out over the Pacific Ocean. They are bearing down on the western edge of Mexico here in a few minutes, and they'll be crossing over North America as this fly-around takes place. Space Shuttle Atlantis and the International Space Station there staring each other down at a distance of 458 feet. Once again, pilot Tony Antonelli at the controls of Atlantis beginning this fly-around procedure. The first rays of sunshine there hitting the upper atmosphere of the Earth as the station and the shuttle are out over the Pacific Ocean. If you look very closely, you can see some of the jets at the back of Atlantis firing. If this STS-132 flight does indeed turn out to be Atlantis' final mission, this will be the last time that we actually get to see a full shot of the shuttle up in space from the space station cameras. Atlantis now outside of 600 feet away from the station. This 360-degree maneuver with STS-132 pilot Tony Antonelli at the controls is continuing. This is Mission Control Houston, the western edge of Mexico coming into view now. The station and the shuttle 213 miles above the Earth. They're passing directly in between Mazatlan and Puerto Vallarta. It's a fairly cloudless day there on the coast of Mexico. Atlantis now 650 feet away from the station. The shuttle passing over the Russian segment. And the two spacecraft just crossing the edge of Texas. They're passing over the cities of Uvalde, Kerrville, Fredericksburg, Killeen. It'll go over Corsicana right there on Interstate 45. And then cross right in the middle of Dallas and Tyler. Now 684 feet away from the station, Atlantis, continuing to perform this fly-around maneuver with STS-132 pilot Tony Antonelli at the controls from the flight deck. The two spacecraft just passing from Texas into Arkansas, going over Hot Springs at this point in time. They will cross the very southeastern tip of Missouri and then head over parts of Kentucky and then into Indiana.
Atlantis, Houston for Piers and CGBA.
Go ahead.
Hey, Piers, that time you just called down to us for CGBA was about 12 hours ago. We're wondering, did you read that value off of a card from earlier today, or is that a fresh read from recently?
Hold on, I thought I got it off my watch. 8:23:30, right?
Yeah, the time you read was 8:11:37.
Apologies. 8:23:30.
Thanks, Piers. That clears it up.